All right, hello, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by Twisted Tea. I almost lost it. Twisted Tea, hard iced tea, right there. I got the original in my hand. Boy, nothing goes down with a win like Twisted Tea, and nothing makes a loss feel better than Twisted Tea. And some of us are experiencing one, some of us are experiencing the other. So, Twisted Tea is delicious. Kayce, tell them about Twisted Tea.
I mean, Brandon, it's the Brandon Walker of alcoholic beverages, which is great because it's tea, it's alcohol, it makes you happy, it helps when you're sad, and it's just just a jolly drink, Brandon, and you're just a jolly guy. We love Twisted Tea.
We do. Thank you to Twisted Tea for sponsoring this podcast. All right, I'm going to say this. I think from the morning window to the afternoon window, this was shaping up as I thought the most entertaining day of football we've had so far this year. I really thought that's what we were getting. I don't know if the night window has lived up to that as much as the the 11 o'clock window, which gave us Michigan Northwestern, Texas A&M, and South Carolina, and then of course the Alabama-Oklahoma game, and among others. I thought it started out maybe 2/3 of this day was as good as any day we've seen this year, and then it sputtered to the finish with Georgia just killing Texas and Ohio State killing UCLA and a couple of other killings in the night that we don't need to talk about. I'm just going to do it. We're going to start with Texas A&M and South Carolina, a game we did not start the day thinking we were going to talk about as much as we're about to. But one of the most amazing, stupid, awful, amazing, fantastic football games I've ever seen in my entire life. T-Bob.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not a fan of either team. I feel like I aged 10 years watching that game.
Do you just want me to start Texas A&M glazing? Because you already know from Twitter that we're on. I think I'm on opposite sides of this equation than most.
If you're going to glaze Texas A&M, I might just have to leave. I don't know. But there are certain things you can glaze, certain things you cannot. The second half performance after the first half performance is admirable and amazing and crazy. They were down 30-3 at the half. They caught them and took the lead with like 10 minutes to go. It was unbelievable how fast they did it. And, they don't ask you how, Kayce. They don't ask you how. They ask you if you win the game, and you guys won the game.
Yeah, and I know, for people that are listening that didn't see what happened, which I obviously don't expect people to be paying attention to my life 24/7, but, we do this thing at Barstool, and I say we as a collective over the years, you lose your phone, you jump in the pool for the Ohio State, Michigan game, whatever. I actually did have no access to Wi-Fi the entire second half of that game. It was insane, and I knew it was happening because when we were about to take off, and I always have Wi-Fi, they said it was iffy. So I text Katie and I said, if you don't hear from me in 20 minutes, you need to send this tweet out because I have no idea what's going to happen. And when I finally got service, and of course my phone had blown up, Brandon, you were texting me like, hello, like what's going on? And I saw there was 2 minutes left in the game and it was 31-30. I thought that I was going to scream so loud there's going to be security waiting for me when I landed at LaGuardia. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. That first half was so bad that it felt like I had been gaslit the entire season into thinking that this offense was good, this defense was good, the special teams was good. Nothing about A&M's identity throughout the season looked like it existed at all. And Mike Elko talked about that in the postgame. He said that's what he said at halftime, which we know Mike Elko's halftime adjustments have looked pretty good all season. But for that turnaround to happen and for Marcel Reed to look like a completely different human and a completely different quarterback from the first to the second half is incredible. You should never be down to South Carolina at home like that ever. It looked disgusting and awful. But most teams, especially A&M teams in the past, would have said, fuck this, we're down 30-3. We're giving up. Like, we're not the team that we thought we were. And that's the exact opposite of what happened. And T-Bob, I feel like that's got probably a lot to do with the way Tommy Moffitt acted in the locker room at halftime.
Look, I think Texas A&M second half success and fourth quarter success this year speaks for itself, and something that you can generate a trait like that into is the strength and conditioning program. So yeah, that's all there. But I'm glad that Kayce mentioned what A&M would have done in the past, because I think that that's what you have to understand to arrive where which is that this comeback and the fight and determination and the defiance of just capitulating to an unscore vastly outweighs whatever the fuck happened in that first half. This is an A&M team. Think about going into narratives that were hanging around this Texas A&M team's head. Okay, Texas fans were going off like crazy all over online. Everybody talking about how once again Texas A&M can't get it done when it matters, missing down their leg. The jokes about the moment being too big. And the thing is, it would have been easy for A&M at that point to lose because mathematically they're fine. They wanted to define the season. They still had plenty of runway to come back. That would have been the easy thing to do, to just give up. And we have to remember, this Texas A&M team is not Ohio State. Can they challenge Ohio State in a 60-minute game? Absolutely. But they are not Ohio State. They are still a program that is still trying to win at a level that they never have had previously. And so that means when you fuck up, maybe like you have in the past, can you recover like you've never done? Again, it would have been easy to give up. That's what a loser does. That's what A&M in the past would have does, but not this team. A tough team finds a way. It says, fuck that. I'm going to rage against it, and I'm going to change it. And it's the same logic that I applied to Indiana last week. So I'm consistent here. I don't care about whatever went wrong at first when weighed against what went right when it mattered most. What defines a man, Brandon, a team, is not the adversity you're met with, okay? It is your response to that adversity. And right now, if this stat is correct, it's so absurd that maybe I'm getting this wrong. Maybe this is not true. But what I've seen floating around, SEC teams are 186-1 when leading by 27 in a conference game. Texas A&M made history today with a comeback, literally, that we have never seen before. And so we can get into the bad, we can get into all of that, but to me, here proved more about Texas A&M than any other thing that I've seen the entire season.
Blutman, before I go apoplectic, what are your thoughts on this game?
I have a lot of thoughts. I really don't care what anyone else thinks of those thoughts, and I'll let them flow as I think of them right now. One, you can't take away anything A&M did today. The second half was tremendous. The fight back was tremendous. I think it is a major indictment on the team that they're playing, that they were down 30-10, and A&M was still just plus 500 to win. It was so easy to go down there, march down. It's also hilarious that I think everyone who was watching this game knew that there was a monumental collapse on the horizon when A&M went and scored to make it 30-10. Everyone watching that was like, yeah, here we go. This is going to happen. And that's a major indictment on the other end. Shane Beamer should not be back coaching this football team for their next practice. He's an absolute joke of a head football coach that doesn't understand anything when you break down X's and O's offensively, defensively, when you talk about simple things like clock management, brother. What happened at the end of the first half is exactly what A&M needed. A little bit of momentum to get right back into that. A little bit of Shane Beamer's idiocy to end the first half was seen in so many ways. They had an opportunity to take a timeout, and they had two timeouts. They could have easily had, I believe it was like 18-20 seconds to get a few plays off, go and try and score a touchdown. He ends up being a little coward boy. He is, again, 3 points, and thinking, yeah, we're fine. We're up 30-3. We're all good. We didn't need to be up 34-3. You didn't score another point the rest of the game. You gave A&M, Tommy Moffitt, whoever it be, Mike Elko, so much ammunition as you didn't walk into the tunnel to get to the locker room. You paraded, hyped up the entire crowd, told everyone in Kyle Field, look at me. I'm Coach Skits and Bits. I'm Shane Beamer. I'm up 27 at half. Nobody could stop me. Not one person could stop me. Everyone could stop you, brother. He's a joke. There's more coaching debacles. The entire second half was as predictable as it gets. It was playing safe. It was trying to chew off enough clock, but not being successful enough at moving the ball to do so. It was run, pass. It was letting A&M eat you alive in the trenches. It was so predictable. It was so easy to stop. They had a massive blunder on the final drive where they got 2nd and 1. There's about 2:15 left when they get the first down, and they take things so slow, and they let the clock burn and run to the 2-minute warning. You had 2nd and 1. You get to the line quickly. You snap the ball. You probably, in my opinion, just go quarterback run there with a blast or a draw, and you pick up the first down, and that's a free timeout. They don't take advantage of that free timeout. Then it's sack. Lenore Sellers runs out of bounds on 4th and 16. Really good play, just not to throw up the ball. I have more thoughts. Whatever. Shane Beamer's an ultimate loser, and A&M deserves credit for how they got back into that game, fought, clawed every inch. They look like a Division II school playing an SEC team in the first half and completely flipped things. Good for them. But yeah, I don't know. Shane Beamer is a dork. I told you I had thoughts, Brand. Sorry.
Let's break them up into smaller parts next time.
I feel like that went fine.
I guess it is cliche that we all sit here, and Kayce, forgive me for what's about to happen.
It's okay. Speak your
I
truth,
guess it's
man.
cliche to all sit here and marvel about the heart of a champion and marvel about the guts and the fortitude. And yeah, there's something to be said for not losing when you're down 30-3 and for coming back and doing it. Everything Blutman said was right. Shane Beamer put on a masterclass of how to blow a 27-point lead. He coached like a little bitch boy coming out of halftime. That team was scared to death coming out of halftime, and he did cartwheels going into halftime. Everything Blutman said was right about Shane Beamer. But I want to talk about A&M. I want to talk about a team that if you do look at their schedule, it is a miraculous thing that all 7 of their SEC wins have come against the 7 bottom teams in the SEC. It is stunning that even happened. That's almost a miracle that it happened, and today they get themselves in trouble. It doesn't matter today, but looking forward for this team, I can't see this team being a serious threat to Ohio State. I can't see this team being a serious threat to Indiana. I looked at a team today that got lucky to survive, and a quarterback, and this is the argument me and T-Bob are about to have, because we started to have it on Twitter today and we didn't really have it. But Josh Pate said it. He tweeted, Marcel Reed, this is why I never gave up on your Heisman case. I'm so sick of quarterbacks being so fucking bad in the first half, and then we come back and they win a game. We say, well, Heisman moment. That was a Heisman. You're talking about the award for the best player in the country, and today, the first half of Marcel Reed was the worst player I've ever seen in college football. It was that bad. And in the second half, he led the comeback. He also threw the backwards pass that almost lost him the game into the final 2 minutes. So
no, he didn't. That receiver. That was the worst play call I've ever seen by Clyde. The running back threw that. It was a freshman running back. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was not Marcel Reed that threw that backwards pass?
It was the littlest play call that's ever happened in college football history. Klein called a trick play
I saw that.
With a freshman running back at who they fucking it was the worst play call I've ever seen.
Fine. Marcel Reed had 2 interceptions, could have had 5 in the first half.
Could have had 12.
He had a fumble for a touchdown. He was awful. They were awful. They don't have to answer to me. They don't. And Kayce doesn't have to answer to me. They just have to survive and survive and survive. But it's hard to take that team seriously after that first half.
No, this is, and that's fine. And I can't disagree with you because, like I said, initially after the game and to start my rant on it tonight, it's the worst half of football I've ever seen. Marcel Reed looked like he didn't know how to play football. The receivers, I mean, I was texting people are their gloves not sticky enough? What the fuck is going on? These are guys that have been so clutch all season. And it wasn't just Marcel playing bad. The drops were egregious. in every aspect of the field. It didn't matter if it was in the end zone. It didn't matter if they needed 2 or 3 yards. They could not catch the ball. It was a disgusting display of football. And we all know, I mean, I would be an asshole if I sat here and said, if they were playing somebody that was much better than South Carolina, hell, even an average football team, they would not have been able to create that comeback as easily as they did. Maybe it would have come down to the final minutes, but the fact, like you said, Brandon, it was with, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I'm not sitting here doing cartwheels saying, the national championship, I'm still feeling good about it. What I can say, and what we have seen A&M do a lot of times this season, is if they play a B+ game, they play a B game, a C+ game, they still find ways to win. They played a fucking F- in that first half, and we're still able to come back and get that win. And that is the identity of this team. It's terrifying the way they played in the first half. The way they played in the second half looked pretty damn good. And the way that they played, and I understand it's South Carolina, but I can't take that away from this. Of course I'm nervous. I was texting Evan the first half like, well, I know you're going to go to the UFC fights for your other podcast tonight, and you should at Madison Square Garden, but I'm just glad you're not here to tell me how much better Ohio State is, because I'm going to do it myself. Ohio State looks like by far the best team in the country. And A&M found their identity again in the second half, and I do think that that's a testament to Mike Elko and this football team. And Marcel.
I want to talk about Marcel Reed. I want to talk about Marcel Reed a bit. Okay, so
right,
I'm not going to I'll just shut the go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm trying to set you up to do just that. So, T-Bob, this is where we argued today, and this is what I want you to argue to me right now. So, Peyton said that thing about I never cash out the Heisman future, and you said something to the effect of, you know what? What did you say?
I think I said something basically the effect of like kind of what I was just talking about, right? That the good outweighs or at least nullifies the bad. Let's do this. Are you approaching this strictly from a Heisman Trophy standpoint? Because it's the argument. I'm not gonna sit here and stump too hard. Because, Julian Saints playing perfect football, whatever, Indiana, sure, Heisman Doza. But let's just talk about Marcel Reed for a second. There is no world and no way. I don't know if actually, maybe answer that. Or is this just a conversation for you?
Yeah. I was responding to Pate saying Marcel Reed this was a Heisman thing, and he never gave up on his Heisman thing. And you came over the top saying it was great and it was great. Like, I get that. Heart of a champion, warrior, fight back. But we're talking about the award for the best player in the country. And you can't win that if you look like you did in the first half today. That was my stance.
So I don't think Marcel Reed is my Heisman pick to begin with. So I'll argue that what I will argue is that this does not hurt his chances. In my mind, this increase his Heisman stock. I don't think he's going to win. But in like my personal scorebook, I come out thinking higher of Marcel Reed than I did coming into this game. And everything I'm about to say about Marcel Reed is basically a microcosm of A&M as a whole, and kind of applies to A&M as a whole. And it's simply that first half is the exception, not the rule for Marcel Reed this year. Even in games in which A&M has not looked great early on, and he's certainly grown and gotten better and better, even in those games, he never looked this bad. So I have no real reason to expect him to this again or to play like this again, because he's never played like this before. And beyond, do you know? I mean, do we really know? And there's no way of quantifying this. I wish there was. But do you know how hard it is to play as perfect as he did in that second half after he played as perfectly bad as he did in the first? Entire season hanging in the balance. Again, he had blown everything. The team had blown everything. They were frauds. Everything was crumbling around them when they go into halftime and Shane Beamer's celebrating. And he came out there and he wasn't okay. He wasn't good. He wasn't great. He wasn't elite. He was perfect in that second half. And then he ends up 22-39, 439 through the air, 3 touchdowns. Leads them on the comeback. They capped the comeback with a 98-yard touchdown drive just to really put an emphatic stamp on how dominant they've been that game. So, yeah, I think that, especially learning to win, I think that any championship caliber team, for the most part, stays. Now, Ohio State may have ascended to that dynastic level, or they don't. We've seen Alabama teams that did it for entire years. We've seen maybe a Clemson team that maybe didn't for an entire year. Like, we've seen some teams do that. It's rare. It's, again, the exception. But A&M's not that. But A&M's been before, and they've never had a quarterback before that could have a first half like that and come back and have a second half like he did. The mental toughness, the championship DNA, the response to adversity. I'm just floored by it. Because this wasn't week to week. He didn't get time to process. He got halftime to get his shit fixed, and he came out and he looked like he was born. And he led that team back, and they get the big win, undefeated, 10-0.
Two things quickly, Brandon.
Yes, please.
It's crazy that the best thing a quarterback could do for their Heisman stock is throw 7 interceptions in 3 quarters and then have a 3-yard game-winning touchdown pass with 6 seconds left against Kennesaw State, and we platform them to the top of the Heisman rankings. This is ridiculous. And then 2, you said entire season hang in the balance. That couldn't be like a more far-fetched statement. They're in the playoff. They're chilling. They lose to Texas. It doesn't matter. They're still 10-2 with losses to South Carolina and Texas. They're still in the playoff. The 12-team playoff completely
and that feels the same. That feels the same.
Season's
that's
not
actually
and
not
that feels the
100%
same.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
It is accurate. They're in the playoff at 10-2.
The entire first half of the broadcast, how low the chances were they would even be in the playoff conversation, depending on what else happens. It would make the SEC championship if they lost to South Carolina and Texas.
Also, if he calls my point balderdash, I want to repose.
All right. I don't know if they were talking, Kayce, about it was no chance they were going to be in the playoff, but they did say if they didn't win this game, there's 0 chance they were going to the SEC championship game.
Right. And if they lost to Texas and they were sitting there with 10-2 with a loss to South Carolina, who had won 1 fucking game in the conference, that would be a conversation when you look at everything else going around in the SEC, because you would see like a 10-2 team with all the other teams that might have 2 losses. A&M would be left out of that because they lost to fucking South Carolina. That's a conversation. So I listen, when I'm watching the first half of that game, I'm like, well, there's no chance they go in and they beat Texas because they can't even beat South Carolina at home the way that they're playing. But I completely agree with everything that T-Bob just said, because when you look at it, and we sit here, whether it's a Big Ten argument, whether it's an SEC argument, whether it's a college football argument as a whole, that every single week when you're playing, and yes, this was at home, but when you're playing, if you can survive and win in this conference, doesn't matter who the team is, if you can survive and win, that you have to look at the way that was played. Marcel Reed had every reason to come out in that second half and just survive and get out of Kyle Field and deal with it over the week. They came out and they played a perfect second half of football. You have to give that credit. You have to. I'm not saying you have to say that they're going to win anything, but the reason the whole college football world is talking about it, the reason we're seeing all these crazy stats and the historic comeback is because that team was able to do it. And I can't speak for any other team. I can speak for A&M. That would, in my lifetime, a team would have not fought back like that if Johnny Manziel was not the quarterback. I truly believe that.
All right, Blutman, you want anything to finish this out with? We got to move on to another game.
No, A&M at 10-2 would have been a lock to make the playoff, though.
I will say this: the season does not have to be hanging in the balance. In the context of Texas A&M, as I said, they could have given up and been like, "Oh, okay, our season, we still have playoff chances," but the belief would not be there. The narratives around them become so awful that it could have shattered the entire year. In my opinion,
this is not a team that's used to, it's not like a team that's used to saying, okay, like we lost a couple games, we're still going to go in the playoff. If you lose to South Carolina, one of the worst teams in the SEC, then you lose to Texas, your rival that everyone is just, going to like pound on you, whether they were going to make the playoff or not. I still think that there would have been a lot of things. They wouldn't have been in the SEC championship. Like this game did have so much on the line for A&M and so much on the line for the way that teams are looked at and the way that the team looks at themselves. Like, I just hate that whole, like, well, it wouldn't have really mattered. Yes, you're losing 30 to 3.
I didn't say when it mattered. I said, I'm saying the season's not over.
It's all fair.
They would have felt the season was over. They're the
I think we've stated our points.
I will finish this off by swinging the narrative right back to South Carolina for just a second. Shane Beamer shouldn't be the coach of that team any longer. He is a clown. He is terrible. Him doing he's done it before. He gets a halftime lead. He does his halftime interview, and he fucking makes it all about Shane Beamer and forgets to get that fucking team ready for the second half. It has happened before. It happened again today. And Lenore Sellers, God bless him, is just not a high-level quarterback. It is not nearly as high level as we thought he was. And it was all evidence in that last drive. It's 2nd and 1. He takes a sack, and on 4th and forever, just calmly runs out of bounds. One of the worst quarterback sequences I've ever seen in my entire life. They are not serious about football at South Carolina if they continue this path. All right. Kayce, do an ad, and then I'm going to get to, I think, the team with the biggest win of the day.
One play can change a season. One upset can silence a stadium. With every snap, the stakes get higher, and no one brings you closer to the action than the DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting. From live in-game betting to rivalry week odds, boosts, and so much more, DraftKings keeps you in the game from kickoff to the final whistle. I was able to place a live bet on A&M. I think it was like 7-1 at halftime before we took off. So that was nice. Didn't think it was going to hit, but congratulations to A&M for that. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get paid out $300 in bonus bets instantly. So every Saturday you can do it. Obviously, NFL Sunday, NBA, whatever you could possibly want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code ROUGH, ROUGH. That's promo code ROUGH to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
All right, T-Bob, I'm going to take a little bit of common ground from what we just talked about. So you just talked about championship DNA, and I think it was misplaced in that position where you talked about it for a team who was coming back against a team that was basically trying to lose. But if you want to talk about championship DNA, I'll just throw this to you. You got to talk about walking into Alabama. You got to talk about walking into Bryant-Denny Stadium. And you got to talk about just having your defense put its nuts on the table and walk out of there with a win against Alabama. Oklahoma showed some championship mettle today by doing that.
Yeah, Brandon, I don't know how y'all do things in Mississippi, but I don't know of many people that crow regularly in Louisiana. Do you know? Like if you were to eat a crow, how would you prepare it? Maybe I guess we could make like a gumbo thing, flambe. I don't know, because I'm gonna have to. So I've been sitting here and I've been shitting on Brent Venables and Oklahoma for a few years now, saying it was a terrible hire, no head coaching experience. He had brought this once glorious program crashing to the ground, and it's just not true. It's just not true. Going and getting this win today, back-to-back road wins to be, what are they, 8-2 right now? They're 8-2, right? Correct? To be 8-2 right now with the schedule that we had, where we were picking them anywhere from 5-7 to 6-6, is nothing short of astounding. And to be doing it without John Mateer being that good. He's solid. He's fine. But this is Oklahoma winning with team, winning with a hyper-disruptive defense. It's the exact thing that we highlighted coming into Thursday's episode. This is an Alabama team that cannot run the ball, that wins with Ty Simpson throwing it. Well, this was the most in the SEC right there with Texas A&M is Oklahoma. That was going to be something to watch. You're like, this is Thomas didn't even play. That was my player to watch. It's the guy that said if he plays, well, then the watch out. He didn't even play, and Oklahoma still made Ty Simpson's life a living hell. We also highlighted the turnover ratio. Alabama won it this year. They've been so solid because they've done the little things right. They were 4th in the country in turnover differential. Oklahoma's not been good in that regard, but when it mattered most on the road, got to have it. Brent Venables, the team locked in. Alabama turned the ball over 6 times a year. They did it 3 times this game, -3. And that the game. Because from a purely statistical standpoint, sure, Alabama outplayed them, but Oklahoma won the turnover ratio, and they won the majority of the high leverage situations. And those are credit, in my opinion, to a well-coached team. And credit to Venables, Brandon, because like he's a defensive coach. I know, like, God forbid they get that Gabriel and Levy offense back with a defense like this, because then you're really talking about a championship threat. But like, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you got to feel really good that your defense is where it's at right now, because this is why you hired that guy. You just went into Tuscaloosa, you beat Alabama the 2nd year in a row, and it's the 2nd year in a row where your defense was the key to getting it done.
I real quick, T-Bob, and I don't know, we just got to take a quick timeout. Is his internet messing up for y'all, or is it just me?
It skips every now and then.
Just a little bit.
It's just I don't know if you want to reset or if you want to hardwire.
I could try. My whole PC died earlier, so I had to go back to my laptop. I can't imagine why that's happening. I'll try to log back in.
Just redo it real quick, and I'll be talking when you get back. So you'll be right at home because I'll just be talking about this game. Kayce, did you get off a plane in time to see this one?
Yes. So, well, and I also was able to go back and watch highlights because, like you said, the first window was so electric, and then like throughout the rest of the day, things kind of calmed down a little bit. But yes, I mean, so here's the thing about this Oklahoma team is that I we've all talked shit about him. We talked shit about Venables and whatever. To me, it's more about Alabama because Alabama, and I know that, we spend a lot of time with Mark Ingram on the road. And so, we hear a lot of his thoughts about it, but it's just like, there's something about this team. I think we even talked about it on Big Noon Kickoff today. It's like, just, there's something about this team that they just don't feel as tough. They don't feel like they want to play as hard when they get down. And there's something that's just, they're soft almost in this offense, which has looked one-dimensional all season. Like everything went wrong for them. And what they normally have leaned on, and I understand, you're never going to have a Nick Saban offense again without Nick Saban, but there's just something about this Alabama team that's just missing that killer instinct. And as soon as they got in a position where they could lose that game, it was like their offense just looked like absolute dog shit. And that to me Oklahoma deserves all the credit in the world. Absolutely. But this Alabama offense just looks so bad. Their kicker was so bad.
So there's three things. A, they can't run the ball. An Alabama team can't run the ball. Shouldn't happen in the year of our Lord 2025. They can't run the ball. B, their offensive line sometimes get in situations where they just get outplayed. And C, when that happens, Ty Simpson has probably the biggest deer in the headlights look of any quarterback in the country. I don't know if you noticed it, Blutman, but there were a couple times when Oklahoma's defense had him in such hell, and he would stand up, and it would just be this bizarre, like, it was like he was a zombie waking up or somebody. He saw a Bigfoot walk across the field or something. He had this huge bug-eyed look like he had never seen a linebacker blitz through the A-gap before. Unbelievable. Brent Venables, what T-Bob said was exactly right. Brent Venables installed toughness to this team. Offense still isn't very good. Quarterback's okay. Can't really run the ball. No real playmakers. But the defense are savages. They're headhunters. They're killers. And when they get up against the Alabama team, who's got a little bit of softness to them, a little bit of soft belly, Liam, that's when Oklahoma fucking feasts like they're vultures on a dead body.
Yeah, I mean, what a turnaround for this program and Brent Venables, who, the seat was pretty warm, Brandon, and he's been able to completely flip things on its head. They scheme things up so well defensively, whether it's there's so much creativity in the looks that he has. Their front's so nasty, and they bring such good pressure off the edge, and it was giving Alabama so many fits. The running backs could not block anything either, so nothing there to help Ty Simpson. You guys kind of hit the nail on the head. Alabama had been doing the little things really, really well since the Florida State loss. They didn't do them at all tonight. They didn't secure the football. Ryan Williams had a very, very careless turnover. Oklahoma's defense is the most opportunistic unit in the country, and they took full advantage of every opportunity that they needed to. Oklahoma gets back-to-back wins against Tennessee and Alabama. They were outgained by about 300 yards combined. It's all about the defense, firing them up and figuring it out. Like, good for them, good for Venables. They're a very fun team to watch today.
Yeah, and they've got both of those wins on the road too. And I think that, like we said the other day, T-Bob, defense travels, and this defense traveled down to Tuscaloosa. I'll say it quickly what I said to them. Alabama can't run. Offensive line sometimes gets overmatched. They did today. And when that happens, Ty Simpson gets a crazed, I have no idea what's going on look on his face. That's what I saw today from Alabama.
Well, it's like, and I apologize, guys. They did a full computer restart. It doesn't seem like it's going to help. Wi-Fi looks fine. I'm not a computer guy.
Seems
I'm
better.
Sure.
Seems better.
Okay, I hope so. I think that you like you said, when that happens, Ty Simpson did a crazy look in his eye. Well, I think any quarterback that doesn't have a run game that is making the entire team go, if he's going to be pressured, that's going to cause problems, right? And that's exactly like we said it going into the game. Oklahoma was a specifically good matchup for the style of football that Alabama has been playing this year. Now, they were going to have to win the turnover battle, meaning they had to tighten up as well, because Oklahoma's not been good in that department this year. If they had given the ball back, then Alabama easily wins this game. So, that's the element that was unexpected. How Oklahoma attacked Bama's offense and had success. That was kind of expected. The question was, could they take care of the ball? And could they force Alabama to not? And that's exactly what they did. And now they're very much alive for the playoffs and everything else and all their dreams. And even more than the playoff, maybe, Brandon. If they finish this thing out 10-2, you know what they have that may be even better than appearance that probably didn't end a championship? They have belief in Venables. He wants to believe in their head coach in college football. Have a head coach that you actually love and you get behind and you think this is the guy. That is like 3 to 4 years of happiness there. And that is how Brent Venables has positioned himself now after what was a year last year with an admittedly strong inning, but a brutal year nonetheless.
All right, so we'll move on to that's a great win by Oklahoma.
It also
don't
just
respond to the chat. Don't respond to the chat.
Don't respond to the chat.
Don't respond to the chat. This guy is like we're praising Marcel Reed, but then or we're not praising Marcel Reed, but last week we praised Mendoza. I shit on both equally, sir. Equally.
Yeah,
I shit on both.
Equally.
Yes, Kayce, go.
No, I mean the thing with this game too, and I know that we still have a couple weeks left. I mean, the SEC Cupcake Week is next week, but Alabama. And we talked about this going into the week. It didn't happen for both games, but Alabama losing, and I know they still control their destiny because their other loss was out of conference. But Oklahoma, now the playoff race gets even murkier because I just didn't think that coming out of this weekend we would have Oklahoma in that conversation at all. I truly thought Alabama was going to beat them really badly. So now it seems a little bit like, well, what are we going to do here?
So help me. Somebody help me. And I don't know Bloodman, do you have the SEC scenarios off the top of your head? Because Georgia
Not
is
a clue.
finished
My
with
brain's
SEC play.
fried.
Okay, mine too.
Yeah,
Georgia's finished with SEC play. They're 7-1 in the barn. A&M's 7-0. They got one left. Alabama's 6-1. Ole Miss is 6-1. So I don't know. We'll figure that out later. We'll figure that out for Monday. Fuck it.
But my bigger point to it though is like that.
Auburn's beating Alabama.
Do what?
He threw a grenade.
Auburn is beating Alabama.
Oh.
This is a soft football team.
It is very soft. Very.
It's a soft football team, and it got absolutely. That's what Florida State did to them. They drug them down in deep water, and Alabama couldn't swim, and that's what Oklahoma did. And I think Auburn, with nothing to lose, will do it to them too.
It's astounding how the culture from being the tough Alabama team fell apart. Like they can win the games, that's fine. I mean, obviously, they didn't today, but the toughness around it. But I completely agree with you. I don't think they're going to lose to Auburn, but what a scenario that would be. Let's talk about Experian. We talk about depth charts, power rankings, and playbooks all day. Who's got the playbook for your finances? That's where Experian steps in. Your big financial friend, your BFF, helps you find ways to save money, track your FICO score, monitor your credit, and even matches you with credit cards that fit your game plan. And here's a clutch move. Some of those cards are labeled no ding decline. That means if you're not approved, your credit score will stay safe. It's like having a financial coordinator in your corner minus the headset. Take control of your wallet and apply with confidence. I say this every time we have this ad, but they don't teach you this in school. So if you're in college and you're listening, or maybe you just don't know much, every time you apply for a credit card, it dings your credit score, which it makes it harder if you don't get approved. So with Experian, you can apply for the no ding decline credit cards, and it will not hurt your credit score if you aren't initially approved. Initial approval will result in a hard inquiry, which may impact your credit scores. But download the Experian app and make your big financial friend today, Brandon, BFF. And it's the holidays. Everybody's spending a lot more money.
All right. Raise your hand if your team gave up a 300-yard rusher tonight. Okay.
Sorry, Brandon.
It's a shame that Missouri didn't win more because Ahmad Hardy would have had his Heisman moment tonight because he had like 6 of them. Unbelievable.
Blake Shapen. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's about the same as Marcel Reed. All right. Here we go.
No, sir.
I'm moving on.
Sir, that's crazy.
Oh, no.
That is buffoonery on your part.
Before we get to the next game, I would like to talk about something that isn't a game. We have Virginia Tech this morning, James Franklin. It got announced, or somebody reported, that Virginia Tech is either in the beginning stages of talking to James Franklin, they're in advanced stages of talking to James Franklin, and I'm going to tell you what the actual truth here is, okay? If y'all are ready, I will tell you what the truth is. Virginia Tech's wanted to hire James Franklin for about 2 to 3 weeks. Their dick has been hard to hire James Franklin. Well, James Franklin don't really want to take Virginia Tech. He might take it eventually, but he didn't really want to take it. He's been waiting to see if another better job offers him, like a Florida State comes open or something like that. And I believe Virginia Tech has given him a deadline of tomorrow. And if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it ain't happening for Virginia Tech. And that's where we stand with James Franklin and Virginia Tech.
That was a hilarious update to get the James Franklin Virginia Tech talks a month after it began and act like it's groundbreaking news was unbelievable. People don't want to say it, Brandon, so I'll say it for you. Everything that is unfolding right in front of our eyes in the coaching carousel scene, Brandon has said in some way, shape, or form in the last 2-3 weeks on this show.
Yes, and I'm telling you now that James Franklin could have taken this job 2 weeks ago. And the fact that it got leaked today is, I believe, Virginia, and this is my opinion now, not a fact, I believe Virginia Tech leaked it so that he could now be linked to the job and everybody can know that they are trying to hire this man. And if he passes, it is on him. I think he's got till like tomorrow night to go ahead and say, yes, I want this job, or they're going to be forced to go down the ladder a little bit.
Well, and
get on your sources, Brandon. You got sources.
Yes, T-Bob.
Well, isn't that the great irony here is that, like, Virginia Tech losing that badly to Florida State makes that job. Wait, no, so this was good by Virginia Tech tonight. They
best loss Virginia Tech's had in months.
Okay, never mind. Okay, yes. If they had won, that would have been ironic. Because then they would have forced the Florida State job open, which he would love to take. So actually, Virginia Tech did their job. They tried to keep Mike Norvell employed tonight so that they can go ahead and come over to them.
They just better hope Auburn doesn't pick up the phone for James Franklin. All right. Moving on. We were at Wrigley this morning in a gray, windy Chicago day. Wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing day I've ever seen.
No, also, Brandon, it was
beautiful around me. It was like 70 degrees today.
Yeah, but it was in the afternoon. This morning it was garbage.
No, but it was weird too. It was like warmer and then it got cooler. It was a very strange, it felt like a Halloween type day. That's what that felt like today. But it was just Michigan. We were just in Ann Arbor, just in Chicago.
That's what Dave said. I mean, there weren't that many.
Listen, I'm not talking about during our show. I'm talking about when after Big Noon, look around, it was the whole bar. I mean, I know you left as soon as it was I stayed until the end of Big Noon. It was just a sea of Michigan fans, which Dan said would happen, but it was actually shocking to me. I knew that Dave was playing up to the crowd at that time. By kickoff, it truly was just all Michigan fans there.
Well, they watched their team just pull off another amazing victory against an amazing schedule. They beat Northwestern 24-22 to get an incredible, awesome, crazy victory. The fact that Michigan is still in the mix for the 12-team playoff is the best reason to probably get rid of the 12-team playoff. Teams that are as good as them or whatever they are should not be in the mix for the fucking playoff in mid-November. That's my statement about Michigan.
Liam liked that a lot. I know that's a Liam Blutman approved take.
They're so listen.
They're not going to be. They're not going to be in the playoffs.
They're so fucking hard to watch,
they're
man.
Alive.
They are alive.
That's the fact that's so bad. 12 teams is just too many, and it will be too many 99.9 times.
No. They're alive because they're going to get to home. They're going to get to Ann Arbor in a couple of weeks. Ohio State's going to show up having not had to do anything for 3 months. And if that starts out 7-0 Michigan, Ohio State might freak the fuck out again. They might. That's the only way they can lose.
Might heal up, Jeremiah and Carnell.
Well, with how y'all glaze Ohio State, if Michigan wins that game, then nothing else matters, and they should be in the playoff.
That's a good point.
Jeremiah and Carnell got to heal up. Get right.
That's a good point, T-Bob.
Time out. Glazing Ohio State.
If Michigan beats a team that is apparently so much better than everybody else, he's got a point.
Second. You two are now going against the fact that Ohio State's better than everybody else?
No. I'm pointing out that there's a disconnect there. If Michigan does win,
Kayce, You just said it sarcastically, like, "Oh, this team is so much better than everybody else."
First of all, and I know we all talk a lot. And it's like, I mean, I said that I conceded that to Ev in the first half of that A&M game, and there's not been one time today, whether I've even thought it in my own privacy of my own apartment. Like, I do not think that A&M is as good as Ohio State. No shit. But, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think Ohio State's going to beat Michigan. And I know what you're saying, Brandon, that it could be a little bit crazy. I understand what you're saying. But if Michigan is in the race for the playoff and they beat Ohio State, they deserve to be in the playoff if Ohio State is that good of a football team.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's a big if. Sure. Yeah. So I'm saying being upset about it, well, it'll probably take care of itself. And if it doesn't, then they're in their way in.
I'm just saying, as it stands right now,
they should have lost to Northwestern today.
Michigan has 2 losses, and they're just such a bad football team to watch, man. They suck.
Well, and Bryce Underwood had like the flip, right? Where like of what Marcel Reed or other quarterbacks done, where it's like the first half he looked pretty good. The second half he looked like he didn't know how to play football.
Yeah,
he's young.
This is going to be, I've watched so much Michigan film getting ready for the Crawler segment on Wub Fridays, and his natural talent is so apparent, but they don't trust his decision-making to save their fucking lives. I mean, and you see why. I mean, you see why in the fourth quarter today. But, like, every fucking play is just, like, quick screen, easy play action. They're not asking him to do anything. And then when they do ask him to do things, he makes mistakes.
Well, on that final drive, he dropped back to pass on a 3rd and 5. He turned it upfield, got 7 yards. I mean, you could see the natural talent there, too, when you need the playmaker to make – like, he's a playmaker. He's a dude. He just I think he has a bad coach. That's what I think. But he is a fucking dude.
And this whole roster is young. Like it really is. I mean, what?
Sorry, my bad. I spoke out. Intrusive thoughts. I spoke out loud to somebody in the chat. Said, "Chad, you're an idiot." He said, "Multiple passes over 20 yards." Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm just go look at this season as a whole. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Never mind.
They won the game. They won the game, and this roster is very young. Like Michigan fans, and I said this earlier this week when I was on the herd with Colin. It was like, literally, like when you're a Michigan fan right now, you have to look and see this team is so young. You can't be upset if they lost to Northwestern and they almost did. That's one thing. But like, you can't look at Bryce Underwood and be upset about it. I mean, he's a child.
Brandon, Oklahoma's win over Michigan continues to look better though, huh?
It does.
Oklahoma as a whole and Oklahoma's win over them, that's really appreciated and valued.
Oklahoma's suddenly sitting there with maybe the best resume in the fucking country. They're suddenly sitting there with this great resume. They got the road win against Alabama. They got the win over Tennessee, who's still for some reason ranked in the college football top 25. They got the win over Michigan. Like they're holding some good cards right now.
Well, and Tennessee at night in the Tennessee blackout game, and Alabama at night. Brian did. Crazy road wins.
All right, so we move along to Blutman.
Yes.
I'm going to ask a question of everybody. I'll just go around. Notre Dame beats Pitt 37-15. Doesn't matter because Pitt wasn't worried about the game. Didn't matter at all, but I guess it mattered for Notre Dame. So Notre Dame beats Pitt 37-15. Jeremiah Love, 23 carries, 147 yards, a touchdown.
Oof.
We've talked about Julian Sayin. We've talked about Mendoza. We've talked about other guys. Is there a chance Jeremiah Love crashes this Heisman party? Liam Blutman.
No, but I wish. That B button he hit was genuinely the nastiest spin move we've seen since Braxton. That thing was absolutely insane. Diabolical, mean, rude, disgusting. Should not have been shown on TV. That should have been blurred out. Jeremiah Love is one of the 3-4 best players in the country. And it's a joy to get to watch him play football every single Saturday. He won't win the Heisman. He should have had more Heisman gas going for him. He didn't, is what it is.
Brandon, when you say crash the Heisman party, do you mean like a legit shot to win it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think, I mean, when you look at Ohio State, and I don't know, how often it happens when you have multiple guys, like those votes do get split, and it'll depend on what happens throughout the rest of the season. Like Jeremiah Love should absolutely be crashing the party. Do I think he should win it right now? No, but he should absolutely be the guy is a fucking freak. Like just everything he does looks like a highlight reel in a video game. And when you talk about the Heisman, the best player in the country, it's also the most important player to their team, in my opinion. I would weigh that if I had a Heisman vote. Like Leremiyah Love should absolutely be crashing the party.
I think he'll go to New York, right? Like, I don't think he'll win it, but I feel like he's secured an invite to New York. He's a legendary Notre Dame running back. They love having a Notre Dame guy there. And Liam, I'm glad you said B button, because that was such and Kayce mentioned video games. That was such a fake spit. Like that's why people are online on the forums talking about Nerf move in NCAA. He brought fiction to reality, and it was one of the more beautiful plays you'll see the entire year.
I've watched it maybe 762 times today. No troll. It's that lethal first step to the right and then the spin back and then it's the explosiveness to cap it off. The guy is just a menace, man.
Well, and like you guys asked him on WUB this weekend or this week, T-Bob, when you're like, I don't know who asked him. It was like, do you have more fun like running over people or hurdling guys? And it's like the fact that you can even ask the guy that, and you can look at, like, you could have your own highlight reel of hurdling from over the last couple of seasons. It's just crazy what he's able to do.
Well, yeah, and he said that his favorite shit is pass blocking, because that's what a round one NFL running back draft pick does.
He's also lying.
I know, but he did mention hurdling that guy being his favorite run ever, and I would love to ask him now if this spin move, if it tops that, but I don't know.
Congrats to you and WUB, man.
Did y'all notice what happened?
WUB. They got another one, another dub.
Loves kicking ass. The curse is over, guys.
Did y'all notice another team out there trying to position a player for the Heisman Trophy?
Oh yeah, Jacob Rodriguez, 100%.
Texas Tech blatantly,
in New York,
obviously, Texas Tech is saying, "Hey, over here, we're killing everybody. We're also about to put this player up for the Heisman. You better vote for him." So Jacob Rodriguez, phenomenal season as a linebacker, been great. Today he gets another pick. But he also scores a 2-yard running touchdown because they're putting linebackers in to run for touchdowns now, strictly for the Heisman. Listen, Joe McGuire and that Texas Tech team, they identified, hey, we're going to spend a lot of money, and when we have something like this to try to get attention for our program, we're going to milk it, we're going to milk it, we're going to milk it, and that's exactly what they did. They absolutely just gave blatant Heisman effort from Texas Tech, who killed UCF.
Yeah, that's what look, when you have a transcendent player like that, you put him on, man. You give him those opportunities. And like you said, it's also PR. But I mean, he still played incredible. He still had another pick. Like the guy's been awesome. He is legitimately, him and Arvell Reese, because I guess Ohio State just says everything, best linebackers in the country. But Arvell Reese ain't gonna go because he's buried. Jacob Rodriguez is not. Jacob Rodriguez should be in New York.
I got so much respect for McGuire and his staff doing that. And it again takes me back to playing NCAA football as a kid. And I, as a 10, 11, 12-year-old, I got a linebacker, a safety that's got a few interceptions. Yeah, let me get him in there in the Wildcat package to just pass stats too. I got a wide receiver that's got 16 catches today. Yeah, he's going to run this 1-yard touchdown at the backfield as well. That's so much respect. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
Texas Tech is fucking good. I know UCF is shit, and that was my best pick of the day, but they're really good.
Told you.
They are, and I post, and listen, I did it a little bit for engagement, but Texas Tech, Notre Dame plus 10 SEC Big Ten teams wouldn't be the worst playoff.
No. The ACC is so bad. Just
the G5's playing hot potato with the goddamn thing. The G5's like, I don't want it, you take it.
Chill.
James
There's
Madison,
there's one team in the Group 5 that's been doing their job all season long, and ain't nobody ever want to bring them up till now.
Stop. Hold on, T-Bob. Every fucking week, Blutman, you go, well, there's one team in the G5 that's doing their job, and it's a different fucking team every week.
I've been saying JMU since the spring, brother. I point out other teams that could go and take it, but JMU has been the team ever since. look up look up from at Blutman27 #playoff push. It's just me doing JMU stuff for the last 2 months.
Speaking of curses,
You attacked the wrong thing.
Is being ranked as the preeminent G5 team in the College Football Playoff Committee rankings a curse? Because it's 2
This
for
year
2
it
now.
seems to be.
Well,
2 for 2.
no,
Just something to keep an eye on.
It's just there's just not a G5 team that's head and shoulders above all the other G5 teams. And James Madison might be that team at the end, but like South Florida's had a bite at the apple. Boise State started the season. They went last year. Tulane had a moment, but like they didn't really hold on to it. Memphis
no. I have to fight against this narrative.
I'm
Tulane
so sick
can
of this
finish-
New Orleans bullshit. Tulane ain't shit, dude.
That's fine, but I'm just talking pure resume. Resume, Brandon. One of their 2 losses is to Ole Miss, and they have wins over Northwestern and what for a win, Liam? Why am I blanking?
And Duke, Northwestern, and Duke, both those teams suck.
But they're still 2 Power 4 wins, and they could win
And
the
smart.
American. If they win the American with that record, you're going to put JMU over them?
So
Yes.
the issue for JMU is that their one big test, it was early season. It was Friday night. It was Louisville, and they weren't healthy, man. They were still running the 2 quarterback stuff because Alonzo Barnett was recovering from ACL surgery, and he wasn't mobile enough. JMU today is a different team that it was that they gave up their first points in the second half today in like an eon.
Yeah. Look, I love Bob Chesney against JMU, but I don't know why we're acting like South Florida or any team that we've crowned, Memphis or any team is just like better than Tulane. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's fine.
Timeout. T-Bob.
Mm-hmm.
You and Ben Mintz.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
You both are at Barstool.
Yeah.
He's an Ole Miss fan.
Mm-hmm.
You're an LSU fan.
This is true.
Why are you both trying to spread the gospel of Tulane so goddamn much?
I look, I simply believe, I guess I'm having cognitive dissonance between what their resume is and how they're talked about versus how other G5's teams are talked about with their resumes. Because Tulane's resume is better than every other G5 team's resume. That's all I'm saying. Do you disagree?
Well, guess what?
Do you
I
disagree?
said it the other day. And you, T-Bob, and you, Blutman, and you, Kayce, you didn't respect the troops. And I told
Yeah,
you.
it's
I
true.
told you.
Yeah.
I told
maybe.
you. You better watch out.
You
Because
did?
when you go to Annapolis in November, shit goes crazy. And that game might not even have been in Annapolis. I don't even know where the fuck it was. But
It looked like
Navy-
Navy had the home unis on.
big win today.
Yeah, you tried to tell us, Brandon. You tried to tell us.
T-Bob, I'm going to ask a question.
Speaking of video games,
We don't have to spend a lot of time.
Dynasty,
We don't have to spend a lot of time on LSU 23, Arkansas 22. Because what's the point? Is Michael Van Buren the guy going forward?
Yeah, my favorite president,
That's a
8th
no.
president of the United States, Martin Van Buren. Apparently, there's an old Seinfeld episode about that. Do you know about that, Brandon? Aren't you a Seinfeld guy?
Not really.
Oh, you're not. Oh, okay, I'm surprised.
I'm not a Seinfeld guy. I enjoy it, but I don't. It's not my top 5.
No, I just tweeted about Van Buren, and then I just got hit with all these Seinfeld memes. And I guess there's an entire episode about a gang of men going around New York just repping Martin Van Buren, the 8th president of the United States. So I'm thinking about bringing back Van Buren gang back to the modern day, but with my guy. Thank you, Mississippi State, for giving him to Michael Van Buren. Let's go, baby. No, look, he was really good today. LSU could have been better if he'd played. I mean, again, unless you're going to be the most dominant ass pocket passer that we can see now, the ability to have some mobility to you is invaluable. Fortunately, Nuss has had none. They finally set him for his abdominal injury, the thing that we've been talking about all year long. I found that to be very interesting. But I guess what is your original question? Is he the guy going forward?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I got lost in Seinfeld. I don't know.
You're
I
starting
don't
over?
know. I don't know. Yeah, he's exciting. I'm going to give myself over. I'm letting everybody know. I'm going to give myself over to all the Van Buren memes, and I'm going to have so much fun with it, and I hope he plays very well. I have no idea if the guy's going forward. I don't know what program is going forward right now, Brandon. But this is what the great part about college football is. In times like this, you know what we can fall back on? Winning the fucking golden boot. And keeping a trophy and a game and a rivalry that you love, beating that team on a Saturday. And it doesn't mean shit to Kayce, it doesn't mean shit to you, it doesn't mean shit to Liam, but that's okay because that golden boot's in Baton Rouge. And that fucking feels good. Even when you don't have a head coach and your governor's fucking everything up and you don't, like, nobody wants a job, you got no money, Brian Kayce's court case, you're going to have to pay him $50 million, you don't have $50 million, but you got the fucking golden boot. And that matters. And that feels good. So you're not going to get me down on this Saturday about it.
Is it even called the Golden Boot? Because isn't it made of wood?
No, it's not made of wood. It's like a cop bronze look. It's very serrated and very heavy. Got dangerous trophy in all of college football.
Oh, but goddamn. Okay. All right. I'm crazy. Okay. Oh, you got an ad, Kayce?
That blew your mind, huh? Just couldn't even believe it. He's not even, I just watched him take off his headphones and still try to talk to him. That's on me. Rocket Money. Most of you guys know how you should take control of your finances, but it's hard to know where to start. Rocket Money can give you clarity and confidence to take that first step, helping you cut out wasteful spending and taking meaningful action behind your financial goals. Rocket Money has been a friend of this program for a long time. It's a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. With all the shenanigans that have been going on with streaming, I'm sure a lot of people subscribe to some things. Maybe you need to unsubscribe to some things because it's all crazy out there. Rocket Money can not only find them, they can cancel them for you right on the app. It shows all of your expenses in one place, including subscriptions that you've forgotten about. And it's a dashboard that lays out your entire financial plan. You can see it all right there. It saved users over $2.5 billion, including over $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Their 10 million members have saved a lot of money every year because they use the app's premium feature. So you have that option as well. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/rough today. That's rocketmoney.com/rough, rocketmoney.com/rough.
In the ACC,
Ugh.
Accurate. In the ACC,
Ugh.
We
Ugh.
have Virginia beating Duke 34-17, presumably saving the conference from being won by a team that got beat by every other team in America. So that's good for the ACC. Georgia Tech.
Haynes King is a baller.
Not really. That
No.
team fucking stinks, dude.
He stinks. When I say baller, I don't mean physically like his.
You don't want to see Haynes in a 12-team playoff.
That man just wants
I
to
would
rock
fucking
at all
love to
times.
see
I
him.
do. Where can I sign up, actually?
Where can I sign up to see Haynes King and Georgia Tech in the play? That team's terrible, and they're 9-1. What a fucking joke of a league this is. Right now, you have going down the stretch of the season, 2 games left. Georgia Tech 6-1, Virginia 6-1, SMU 5-1, Pitt 5-1. After playing a scrimmage today against Notre Dame. What the fuck do we make of this garbage conference?
Ugh.
Yes, Blutman. Yes.
We were dangerously close to a Virginia Cavaliers SMU Mustangs conference championship, and maybe we still get there, but God bless us all if that's the case.
It is so revolting. Like, just, and no disrespect, but a little bit of disrespect. Like,
All disrespect.
what is this conference doing this year? Like, this is
I have no problem.
They should not be in the playoff. Leave them out.
I mean, they're doing the same thing they did last year. It's just more bad football. It's a
The only team
continuation.
from that conference that should be in the playoff is the one that has no chance to play for the conference championship. The championship game.
Interesting. You would bring this up again, Brandon. It's Miami, you say. But you just said the ACC is such a shitty conference it deserves nothing. So what has Miami done that would put them in there?
Beat Notre Dame.
Interesting then. And yet you attack Texas A&M's resume.
Yep.
And not only are they undefeated in the SEC, an admittedly much better conference, but what also do they have on their resume? At Notre Dame. Oh,
At what point?
alas.
Oh, time out.
Interesting,
At
isn't
what
it?
point have I said A&M shouldn't be in the playoff?
You haven't. I just find it to be interesting.
I just said if you're keeping score against A&M, you got to make a note that they have played the 7 worst teams in the league, and they look really, really shitty today. Those are the 2 things I said about
and
A&M.
I'm making a
and they're
note
both
that
true.
Miami beat Notre Dame. I'm making a note they beat Notre Dame in the first start of the season with a true freshman in CJ Carr. Fuck Miami. If you can't win the ACC, I'm not putting you in the playoff. After what you just said about the ACC, fuck out of here.
Brandon, I agree with you. I'm more on your side with this with Miami. I will say though, it doesn't matter because they are the 7 worst teams at the bottom of the league. But like going into this season, I don't think there would be anybody that would have said LSU would have been there. Not a lot of people would have said Florida was going to be there. So it's
that
not
doesn't matter.
Well, but it's not like it's like going into the season. It wasn't like you can only play the games that are on the schedule. So yeah, now it's playing out that way. But it's not like Texas last year where they literally were playing everybody except for Georgia, and then every time they play Georgia, they get their asses fucking kicked. I'm just saying.
We're one of the worst.
Going into the season, it's irrelevant.
I know, but nobody. I understand that where we're sitting now, but it's A&M can only win the games on the schedule.
Yes, but that means if we look forward, we need to consider that the games on the schedule have been garbage. That's
fair. That's fair.
We have a talk. By the way, what are you doing?
Is LSU one of the worst 7? This entire time you've been saying that. Are we one of the worst 7?
Yeah. You sure
sweetie.
Yeah.
He knew that, right? Is he trolling right now?
Yeah. By the way, the game was still going on when we started, and we kind of skipped over it. Georgia beat the holy fuck out of Texas tonight.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. We should.
Yeah. What giving that away in the last few weeks? They ain't done a thing.
No. And I started to realize it towards the end of the week where I finally put it together that Texas had played 3 road games in the SEC, an overtime win against Kentucky, terrible, an overtime win against us, terrible, and lost to Florida, terrible. And they go to Athens, they acted like they were on the fucking moon, dude. And then Kirby, I'll say this for Kirby. Nobody's funnier when he's feeling it.
Yeah.
I think he should be in jail. I think he's a bullshit artist. But when he did that onside kick and he just started jumping up and down and doing the guy, like he was absolutely he was speaking of Seinfeld, he was like Elaine Bennis dancing out there. He was just doing all this shit. It was crazy. But when he's cocky, he's funny as hell, man.
He's one of those guys that you just know that like you would make fun of him, but that like he's just gonna make you laugh anyways. Like it's exactly what you just said. Like he's funny, but you're gonna still make fun of him. But like he's gonna make you laugh while you're making fun of him.
Gunnar Stockton was elite tonight. I think 5 touchdowns. They're the last 2 weeks they killed us. They killed Texas. Those aren't 2 great teams, but they weren't killing teams a month ago. They weren't killing teams 2 months ago. So looks like Georgia might be peaking at the right time for the Georgia Bulldogs.
They put together back-to-back weeks. They put together full 4 quarters of football, which going into the Mississippi State game, that was not something they had done. They had put together halves of football. I still don't think, like when you look at the league, I do feel like, I know again, A&M schedule too, but like it's like Georgia's terrifying the way that they're playing right now going into the playoff.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they look like as far as playing right now, they might be playing the best of anybody. Yeah. Yes.
Well, you don't want to see them because they have the pedigree, right? They've been there before. They have the culture over anybody, so you're not going to be overawed by it. They won't be overawed by the situation. And also, Gunnar Stockton just appears to be a guy who loves the lights. Like, he doesn't need the raw stats. He's got a little bit of Jalen Hurts in him in that way. Have the raw stats, probably get him to New York. But I'd put him up there with anybody in New York if you're talking about game on the line and you got to have it or loving the moment. Also, every now and then we time situation, we see one of the traditions, and I always forget about this, and sometimes things just hit harder than others. The Superman theme, when Georgia is coming out the tunnel in a big game like this at night, oh my God, does it feel badass, dude. I actually learned the 19 Auburn game, the water hose game, that we broke down on the podcast earlier in the year. But yeah, Georgia feels as much of a threat to it. Okay, I think on the pod the other day I said, who could challenge Ohio State for a national championship? It was Indiana. It was A&M. It was Texas Tech. I think I said maybe Oregon. I think I'm willing to add Georgia to the list potentially.
I
If
would,
they can handle the Ramblin' Wreck.
if we're doing that right now, I would probably add Notre Dame as well.
Okay, I could get there. I like me some CJ Carr.
I'd still have it only Ohio State, but I mean Georgia's the only other team I've been keeping in my pocket. It's the only other team. How many times do you watch Georgia and just I thought about Gunnar Stockton throwing a perfect ball. The ball placement was impeccable on so
Gorgeous.
many throws. That one touchdown that he throws Noah Thomas, I
Yes.
think it was the one to get to 14 was just
Yes.
nasty dirt. Like that's so pinpoint accurate. Kid's a gamer. Kid's such a good player.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
There
And
was, yes, there
and
was
Noah
still-
Thomas is emerging as finally a legit wide receiver for them.
Yes,
which
and
is
Zach
something
Branch is
they've been
making
chasing.
good plays. Humphreys is doing good stuff. Like that. My only real slight about Georgia is their defense has a tendency of giving up big gash plays, and they're just so slow and lethargic sometimes.
Last game before we move on and do who won the week, who lost the week. Did I mention USC beating Iowa at
No, we
all?
haven't talked
I
about
think
USC.
I
Not.
Iowa. No,
You're
we
not.
got-
I tried-
I have one heck of a stat from this game.
Hit us, Blutman.
USC, this is the second time this season that the opposing quarterback had a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown on them.
Oh, what? It's happened
Yeah,
twice
Mark
this year.
Gronowski
Who was the other one
and
besides Gronowski?
Luke Altmaier.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That is a crazy stat, Blutman.
That's ball.
Shout out Altmaier. He's been great.
That's ball. Okay. USC still hanging in there, sets up a gigantic game at Oregon next week. I don't know that they've given me any reason to think they can win at Oregon, but hey, crazier things have happened.
I mean, that's a playoff game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's an absolute playoff game.
I'm with Brandon. That was kind of my headwind. It's like, let's go. That made that game infinitely more interesting on kind of a down Saturday. But also, like, let's not So I started to really come around to Iowa by kickoff. And getting ready for the Friday film segment, USC's defense came across my eyeballs a lot, and I thought their D-line looked steady and kind of so soft and all. And here you have the highest rated offensive line in the entire country. And then you hear, what the fuck? It's going to be raining in LA. I thought God was telling me that was an Iowa upset. And I think they ended up covering, but whatever, that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like that was God telling me this is a Hawkeye win. You're going to play in those in Los Angeles where it never rains like that. And so for Iowa to come out in the way they did, take their lead, for USC to go down, find ways to come back and win that game, it's a tough USC team. And I'll go back to the Illinois, because even in that game, they made some tough long odds plays to get back in that thing, even though they ended up losing. I see you grimacing there, Blunt, but
No.
there's no way, with all the shit that I've talked about Lincoln Riley, about his teams getting worse, and with how ill-fitting he appeared to be for the Big Ten. This was a massive statement win. And you could see it on Riley. I know you tweeted out on the Roughness channel, Blunt. Lincoln was ecstatic when they won this game.
Mm-hmm. No grimace on my behalf, though. I thought that was
sorry.
a really good, tough, hard-fought USC win. At the beginning of the game, they get down 21-7. There were a lot of short yardage opportunities that they were on the wrong side of. Figured things out in the end. Makai Lemon
He's unreal.
is once
yeah.
again just unbelievable. He
He's
has a knack
unreal.
for finding every single soft spot, for making every single big play. He's a special college football player. I wish that he got a bit more limelight, a bit more spotlight before he really truly broke out. But the kid's incredible. Maava ends up making big plays. There were a few ticky-tack moments there. They called off a late hit out of bounds on Iowa's kick return that was pretty controversial. And at Iowa, on their final prayer, it looked like what Jen Mega. He didn't. But do you see that play? He almost got the toe in. He jumped for no reason.
I know. So I had it in my notes. I was already writing Muskie's story, but a how he's always great in the biggest moments, and he really was again. But yeah, it was a classic game of inches moment. It was the opposite of Indiana last week, where he barely keeps the toe in while being pushed out. The toe barely gets out by like an inch, half an inch. Game over. USC, or not game over at that point, but USC wins. Mekhi Lemon should be the only challenger to Jeremiah Smith for the Blitnikoff. We all know Smith's going to win it, but like Mekhi Lemon has played incredibly this year.
Brandon, to answer your question about like you don't know what you've seen, which is fine. I mean, that's your perspective. But I mean, Mekhi Lemon and Mayava looked great, but like also they have a ground game too. I mean, Brian Jackson rushed for a couple of touchdowns. Like this, they were down. They created a 19-point. The last 19 points was scored by USC. This is the same. It's all different. And Iowa's a much better team than other teams we've talked about. But this is this. The Lincoln Riley. Well, a lot of his teams have maybe looked soft. Like if they get down, they're not going to play from behind. Like that is what they needed to do today. And they have a really, really good offense. Now their defense is still questionable at times, but their offense is good. So like when you look at playing Oregon and what we've seen from Oregon, like if this offense can come out of the tunnel at the beginning of the game and play the way that they did at the end of the game, I think that they could absolutely challenge Oregon. This offense is incredible.
That's great. I don't. They couldn't win at Champaign. They couldn't win at South Bend, and I consider Alton Stadium, with the circumstances and what the stakes will be next week, far, far, far harder than either of those.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fine.
If I was scoring it out of 10, I think USC maybe wins like twice against Oregon. Yeah. But I'll be damned if I'm locked in now. Like credit to them, they made the stage exciting.
All right, we're going to go to who won the week, who lost the week, and shit list. And I'm going to go ahead and announce right now, I will be leading off the shit list to avoid anybody taking mine.
Oh, I know what yours is going to be. I'm going to let you have it.
Wait, is there a mistalk from the way out here? No? Anything?
Any what?
Florida Ole Miss talk?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Florida just got a I'm happy for Lane. He got an up-close look at his quarterback for next year tonight. Otherwise, it was a mediocre win against a mediocre team, and somehow having the easiest schedule in the SEC is going to get them to the playoff at 10-2. All right.
Fair enough.
So, do you have another ad, Kayce?
I do. Brunt Footwear. So we talked about how, the weather's changing. It snowed in Chicago. It's pouring rain in New York right now. And so a lot of people are looking for good boots to keep you warm. Okay. And Bruntwear has the work boots that are meant to sacrifice comfort. Like you don't have to do that with Brunt. A lot of the work boots, a lot of the warm weather worn boots, they're not comfortable, but Brunt, they do. They feel good and they're meant to last. And that's a huge thing when you're buying shoes. Brunt thought that all of the old work boots and all of that was all BS because these are built tough boots that feel great from day one. You don't have to break them in, which is massive. No sore feet because people out there are doing work. They shouldn't have to choose between comfort and durability. I think we all got a pair. I'm very excited to break mine out when it starts to snow in New York. These Brunt boots are comfortable right out of the box. Most boots require a significant break-in. Brunt is not just about work boots. They offer a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs. From heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets, they have all that stuff. You need to go on and look, and it's great. It's durable, reliable, and it keeps you protected and productive in any condition. With Tim's dropping and the holidays coming up, it's time to treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get him something that's built to last. Brunt Workwear. They also have some pretty good trucker hats. Our listeners get $10 off their order with code RUFF at checkout. That's Brunt, BRUNT, workwear.com. Use promo code RUFF. Again, that's $10 off their order. Order today and let them know you heard it from us. Brunt Workwear.
T-Bob, who won the week?
Brandon, I mean, you're sitting here asking me to talk about who won the week on a day in which LSU won the Golden Boot. And look, I'm doing here, okay? Today was awesome. To even talk about that right now would be so disrespectful to our players today. Do you know who said that quote?
I didn't even hear the quote. No.
Lane Kiffin, when asked about other jobs. I'd be terrified if I was an Ole Miss fan. I love what we're doing here. Today was awesome. To even talk about it right now would be so disrespectful to our players and what they did today. Oof.
See ya.
Man. Sorry, Elvis. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know.
Wait, here. I know this is a semantics question, and it's but like they are in a playoff run right now. So how do you handle that? Because he's not going to take a job while they're in the playoffs. So do they
Maybe not.
wait?
Maybe not. I'm just saying that's not the quote I want to hear when I see Mike
No,
Elko and his
100%,
wife signing
100%.
extensions and other people signing extensions. I don't know, Kayce. I don't know how it's going to play out.
Bob Wischusen on air did say, "Hey, who knows if this Lane Kiffin team, man, who even knows if he'll be coaching them during the playoff?" He put that thought out there, which seems asinine.
I mean, crazy.
Okay, I would say who won the day was Oklahoma. I don't know if I need to expound on it much further, but just like, again, for Brent Venables and that program to go what they've gone through and now be down the road 8-2 on the road, the manner they've done it, survived this schedule, the manner they have, yeah, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. So right now I have it on mute, but Oklahoma only has a 53% chance to make the playoff. It seems low to me.
We could have 6 SEC teams at 10-2 or better. In fact, we're very likely to have 6 SEC teams at 10-2 or better. They're definitely not in.
No, I know, which is why I go back to what we were saying earlier about A&M. And again, it doesn't matter, but if they would have lost to South Carolina and lost to Texas being at 10-2, they were not a surefire shot to go to the playoffs.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like, Oklahoma's sitting there with much better wins, and they only have a 53% chance to make the playoff.
Yeah.
Come on.
Why are we bringing up all shit?
Well, no, because we went back and forth a little bit about it, but I mean, we're physically seeing it. Like that's how crazy the SEC is right now.
Can I just say something for Blutman? I'm pretty sure he thinks they're going to dog walk Texas because he has zero respect for Texas.
No, that's fine. We were talking about if they were 10-2, but guess what? They're not going to be 10-2. They're not going to be 10-2.
Can we get to the segment here? Kayce, who won the week?
I mean, are you going to take Oklahoma? Because it has to be Oklahoma after what T-Bob just said. I know we have to pile on. I'm going to just say it. I'm going to say it. People aren't going to like it. I mean, A&M won the week with that comeback. And I mean, you see all the viral moments, and I know I'm not going to take that from you. But the way that they played, I'm looking right now, I'm getting texts like Marcel Reed was putting out, TikTok dances being like, sorry for that first half, guys, my bad. Like the way that this team rallied and was able to play in the second half, and they can make those jokes. He gets to make that. Like he was so ass in the first half and so fucking perfect in the second half that you can make that. You've got Mike Elko signing an extension, his wife signing an extension, like we ain't going nowhere. Just like everything, like when you look at Twitter, and I was down so tremendous. I was cooked from the week, or just exhausted. And I'm having to sit here and watch the first half of that play out on my text messages and social media. And then to know that they were able to come back. It's all everybody's talking about. South Carolina is not a good football team, but in the SEC, if you can overcome a 30-3 deficit with the way that A&M played, you won the week, because now I just talked about the playoff chances. Like they have a 99, the greater than or whatever, 99%. Like they're in the playoff now. We know that. And that's a win. That's a win. It's a win for A&M as a whole, getting to keep Mike Elko. That guy is the man. He is the absolute fucking man.
Blubman, who won the week?
I really tried. I came in here with 1 on each side, and I end up with 5 on each with some exclusions. Arizona's an exclusion, whatever. First winner, Penn State game day breakfasts. They're up so big right now, 1-0 in their last 1. Also, that guy with the I Love Brown Walker sign at the college
awesome.
Who was that?
I don't know.
By the way, Connor, just the smile that he had on his face the entire show with that sign was very cute.
Who?
Who?
Well,
What did Connor do today?
I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about.
Connor at breakfast for Penn State. They won.
Connor's a Penn State fan. He wasn't at Wrigley today.
Oh, dude, Connor! I did see a smile, Kayce, in the post game video after Penn State.
They're doing this whole bitsy thing where they're acting like it wasn't Connor and it was just obviously Connor.
Oh, I mean, the Brandon Walker guy. Is that Connor?
I don't.
Just a random fan, Brandon. I saw him too.
I don't know that.
I can't tell.
It was a cool moment to see, because we were in Chicago very clearly, that like a lot of the Chicago office got to come out and see it. Like that was very cool. And when I saw Connor just as happy as he could possibly be, holding up,
can't tell.
Glazing Brandon Walker.
That motherfucker. I play intramural soccer. Suburbs. Fucker's an incredible goalie. He's crazy. He shuts down everybody.
Is that Wyatt?
He shuts down everybody.
I don't see. Where's Wyatt?
Wyatt's right next to the guy holding the sign.
The only funny part is like actually we beat his team. We played them because my boss is on my team. His boss is on my team, and I don't know. He didn't have it that day. I don't know what happened. He let a few goals go by.
Kayce, we're now we're 2 bits deep.
My second
All the
winner.
bits.
I spent the day here at the office watching ball with Big T. I want him. He's a winner. We did something called the Big Orange Parlay or Big Red Parlay. It all depends what color you see Ginger's as parlay of the day. He took Tennessee minus 9.5 first quarter or 10.5 first quarter. Bang. I took UCLA first half under 2.5 points. Bang. We didn't cross the 50. Easy winner, plus 300 for Big T and I. Oklahoma gets a very key win. Spoke about them extensively. Good for them. South Dakota, I missed this, beat Southern Illinois in a 53-51 5 overtime thriller. Shout out to the fellow in chat who pointed out to me. Then Ethan Pritchard doing the legacy walk at Florida State as he's going through his recovery from the gunshot wound to the head. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
nice.
that's a big time moment. Obviously makes you take a step back and appreciate everything. So, you know, Ethan Pritchard doing that's pretty cool.
Brandon, who won the week?
Well, the answer is Oklahoma, but there is no reason to add on to what T-Bob said or what we said earlier. Brent Venables' biggest win of his career at Oklahoma. They are, whether they have a 53% chance or not at the playoff, they have a chance. They are in the mix, and they are doing it against one of the most difficult SEC schedules I can remember. Shout out to them. They won the week. But I'll throw a second one the week to the Georgia Bulldogs, who are now playing Georgia Bulldog football. They look like they're peaking. They blow out last week, blow out tonight against a better team. They got Georgia Tech coming up in a couple weeks, and their SEC race is over. They're 7-1. They're finished playing SEC games until possibly Atlanta. So I feel like Georgia is peaking at the right moment, and this was a big win. Not getting the win, but the way they got the win was big for the Georgia Bulldogs.
May I add one really quick that, I mean, I don't know if Ev would have picked this one, but I do think, you know, you have to put Ohio State in this conversation a little bit just because you saw, I mean, Indiana ended up taking care of business, but Indiana, T-Bob, I don't want to glaze them. But I'm going to a little bit. Indiana did not look great to start that game. A&M obviously had to come from behind, and Ohio State, again, they haven't played anybody yet. I know Texas was a different team, whatever. But like Ohio State, every single time these games happen, the narrative on social media and amongst the college football world is like, see, everybody, Ohio State's just so much better. So that narrative was kind of solidified to a certain degree more than it was going into this week after today.
I mean, we score a touchdown on them. They're not that good.
Agreed.
Was it a bunch of their backups?
You know what? Fair.
Overrated.
T-Bob, who lost the week?
Kalen DeBoer's hoodie of death. Kalen DeBoer's black hoodie finally lost a game. DeBoer is now 16-1 in his Darth Vader armor. Shout out Brent Venables. Yeah, Kalen DeBoer's hoodie of death lost.
Kayce, who lost the week?
I think it's Alabama as a whole. They'll be fine. They control their destiny, and that, you know, that does speak again to what the chaos in the SEC looks like. But if you're an Alabama fan and you've spent the last, you know, few decades watching just the toughness of this team, teams that can run the ball, that they have an identity on the ground no matter what, and you see that the way that this team just has neither one of those things. And, you know, Oklahoma put a dagger in them last year for the playoff. They're not putting the dagger in there, but it definitely murkies it up a little bit. And I just, like, if you're an Alabama fan, you've just got to wonder, you know, where the root of these problems are. You know, the offense was the problem today. Like we said, if you don't run the ball, you're not going to win. But it's just like, I don't know if it's Kalen DeBoer's culture that's changed it. I don't know if it's just the mentality of these teams. But like, you just going into this weekend, the amount of, you know, Alabama fans and others, I mean, I said the same thing. There's just no way they're going to let an Oklahoma team beat them. And I know it's a much better team than they were last year, but just absolutely no way they're going to let them beat them after what happened to them last year. And they just, the game was close, but they just got cooked on offense, just absolutely just obliterated. And Alabama's got a softness problem for sure.
Bloodman, who lost the week?
Good call on the black hoodie. So I've shifted from that one.
I stole that from the Roughness Twitter.
60-1 regular season games. UConn has a football team deniers. It's the first time since 2010 that UConn goes undefeated at home. Jim Mora doing one heck of a job there. A guy that should probably be in more discussions.
Yeah,
No, not
I
back
see
to
you.
me. No,
I see
no.
you, Liam.
You
I
see
see
Mora,
you.
but I don't think back to UCLA. Shane Beamer, obviously a loser. Daquan Finn, low key loser. Remember him starring at Toledo, working his way up, getting to Baylor, was an abomination there, dealt with injuries, goes back to the MAC, goes to Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio played Toledo this week. Daquan Finn missed the game. He was sick. He is no longer with the team as of yesterday. He is now preparing for the NFL draft. Good luck, Daquan. I'm going to go around the room here. How many yards did you guys rush for today?
0.
Okay, 0 all around.
I moved
State
goal.
rushed for 1 yard. You only had one less rushing yard than Appalachian State today. So I'm proud of you all for doing that. An amazing accomplishment from your couches. James Madison continues to absolutely sleepwalk teams. And then Iowa toes. We talked about the toes today for Iowa. Do not forget the toes for Iowa last week on the 2-point conversion against Oregon when they could have gone up 3. This is 2 back-to-back excessive jumping from Iowa pass catchers that have cost them maybe 2 wins.
Brandon, who lost the weekend?
Shane Beamer's bitch ass. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I knew coming into this season South Carolina would be disappointing, and South Carolina fans have hated me ever since. Their burner army just follows me around like fucking puppy dogs looking to be petted or something. I don't know. But I told them South Carolina fans have hated me for 6 months or a year now. Shane Beamer is not the guy, and you cannot be more confirming of not being the guy than being up 30-3 and the entire world being pretty sure you were going to lose. Like I hit the money line twice at halftime.
So
I hit it once.
That is so true, Brandon. Like, how did everybody know that A&M was somehow going to win that game when it's never happened before?
And the way it was shaped, it was like 30-3, which obviously was a 31-30 final. Everyone knew it was a 31-30 final, and Shane Beamer just made it happen. They came out it was 3rd and 1, I believe. 3rd and 1 at about the 30-yard line. They're driving. Any points at all pretty much ends the game. They hand off. They have. I'll say this for Sellers. He can run. They have one of the best running quarterbacks. He's hard to bring down. He's going to get a yard. They give it to the running back right in the middle of the line. Nothing. They're about to go for it on 4th down. Shane Beamer calls a timeout. Come here, guys. We got to talk about this. I got to draw up a play. All right. They came out, ran the same goddamn play. Same fucking play. Running back straight to the line. Shane Beamer coached like he wanted to lose that game. I have no idea why people ever thought this guy could coach.
The clip, and we've talked about it multiple times on this show, but just the clip of him acting like a complete asshole going into the tunnel at halftime was just an absolute, like you say the whole world knew. And I know a lot of people hate this term, but like the battered Aggie syndrome, like my college group text today, horrible. Like it was like, fuck us. Like, I mean, Brandon, you said it would have been our Mona Lisa of November collapses. When that came out, it was a little bit of, wait, now hold on a minute. Hold on. He's acting like such a clown. I also will say, and we didn't mention it in the game thing, like not only was the score the way that it was, like A&M missed multiple kicks too. Like this video. I mean, what is this, sir?
What an image.
It's a great picture.
Just the cheerleaders. It's just like, this is the nail in this man's coffin. You can't be acting like that at halftime in front of 110,000 people when A&M played the worst possible football game they could possibly have played. And that's not an exaggeration. It was the worst football game they could have played. And we missed like 45 kicks in the first half.
All right. We'll finish with the shit list.
Go ahead,
and
Brandon.
I will go first.
Go ahead.
I think we're all going to have at least, in my opinion, there should be a common denominator here, so I'm intrigued.
It's amazing we got to the year 2025 before something like this happened. But when you have state troopers that are assigned to coaches or state troopers that are at the game, these state troopers are usually picked because they have an allegiance to the team. And today I saw one of the most pathetic acts of you're beating our ass on the football field, so I'm going to be a whiny bitch than I've ever seen from a Texas, I believe he was a Texas State Trooper.
It was.
I saw his name. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to embarrass the man. And I believe cops and police officers are among the best of us, so I'm not taking shots at his ability to be a cop or state trooper because that's totally different. Yeah. But in this moment, his team is getting beat. And this man went to the tunnel and proceeded to look like the whiniest bitch I've ever seen in my life. And it happened twice. There was also a Texas A&M yell leader that knocked the ball out of Nick Harbor's hands. This is a group of people that didn't deserve to fucking win today. I hate that trooper won. I hate that yell leader won. But this trooper goes to the tunnel where South Carolina's celebrating, and he sticks his elbows out as he walks through them to get bumped, turns around and stares him down. That man, that A&M guy, belongs nowhere near a football field ever again. He can never work a game again. It was pathetic. It was embarrassing. It was childish. It was awful. I can't believe that we saw that. They threw him out. I think they threw him out.
He was immediately relieved of his game day duties. Yeah.
And good for them because that's the only thing you can do. Get his ass out of there. Like, get the fuck over yourself, dude. This team is celebrating. They're beating your team at the time. Don't be a whiny bitch. Don't do that shit. Embarrassing from a grown fucking man.
Oh, so this is one of those things where, like, I had no take to even try to defend it, so I just didn't even say anything because, like, a lot of things with A&M, like, I'm going to try to. It was so embarrassing, and A&M immediately relieved the man of his game day duties. Like, you absolutely cannot have that happen. Just an embarrassing, cowardly act. And of course it's my fucking team. Like that, it was just one of those moments where I was like, are you serious? Like when I finally saw all of it, it was just like, come on, man. Come on. Like we just can't. And the yeller thing, Brandon, I completely agree with you. But yeah, I just didn't even say anything about it because I was just like, well, how could I even possibly spin this? You can't. Pathetic display.
But it truly is amazing that we have these Homer state troopers there with the coaches that one's never done something like that. Like it's just you shouldn't have fans doing this shit because that guy was clearly a fan. Go ahead, T-Bob. Do you have a shit list?
Well, yeah, no, I mean he was on it for sure. And it's not just that he turned around and stared at Harbor. He hit like the police yell at him. Like all of his like police confrontation training. Yeah, came in like, if you don't walk away, I'm going to arrest you right now. Like, I don't know. I don't think you can right now, sir. I agree with you on like, police. It's a thankless job and everything, but that was a joke moment. I normally have hit lists, but I do have a shit list today, Brandon, and it's Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick. So UNC loses to Wake Forest. First time since October 2016, so a decade that UNC did not score a touchdown in the game. But more so than that, did you see Jake Dickert try to shake Belichick's hand after the game? So Dickert has his Wake Forest team way better than they have any right to be. And he's going up to shake Belichick's hand. He takes his hat off, right? Because he's being respectful. Like, this is Bill fucking Belichick. He's probably ecstatic to have just, Belichick didn't even shake his hand, just walked right by him. Walked right by him. The little bitch can't get a fucking program going. He can't even shake Jake Dickert's hand. Well, fuck you, Bill Belichick. Fucking shit list. You're ruining your legacy. Just
I didn't see
nobody
that.
likes you. Nobody wants you. You UNC football. Fuck out of here. Here it is.
Oh,
Look at this. Dickert takes his hand
coming
off.
out. Yeah. Oh, got my arms
so
crossed.
excited.
Yada,
There's
yada.
your man.
I'll take my hat off. Hey, coach. Good game.
And no, just gone.
Oh.
Just fucking gone. Fuck that dude. Fuck you, Bill Belichick.
Agreed.
He doesn't normally sit and like chop it up, does he?
No,
yeah,
I mean,
but
I
like,
don't know. I just
No, I know.
more
I'm
than
not
that.
defending it. I'm not defending it, but it's like he attempted a little bit of it, right?
I get, yeah. You know what? I guess he did do the bare minimum,
Which is not great. I'm not saying it's a good
whatever.
thing.
UNC didn't score a touchdown first time in a decade. He can still be shitless.
Oh, of course.
Kayce.
I mean, this is just one of those things that in 2025 should never be on a fucking airplane without Wi-Fi. And I have just absolutely prided myself on figuring out my travel. I was on the road for 5 days this week, and I needed to get home to my son. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. A&M has a 12 o'clock kick, 11 o'clock kick, whatever. I was like, I'm just going to bite. I'm going to watch it on the plane. We got the TVs. I'm going to have my phone. Everything's going to be fine. And as soon as I got on that airplane and they said, hey, listen, we've got some Wi-Fi issues. Live TV is going to be down. And like, we're trying to reset it. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this should just not be a thing. And I realize it's first world problems. I understand that. But this is just, this is why. And I got tweets being like, well, why would you leave in the middle of your game? It's like, again, I've been on the road for 5 days. I'm cooked. I'm exhausted. I just want to go see my son. And I missed the best comeback a lot of us have ever seen. Okay. Very important for my team. Yeah. So the Wi-Fi, I'm not even going to say the airline, doesn't even matter, is on my shit list, because even when we take the jet, we can watch score updates. I literally sat for an hour and 15 minutes in my own silence. It was awful. Crazy. I couldn't listen to music. All I could think about is like, what's going on in this game? I can't do anything. I had a stress rash down my neck and chest. And it was just like, how am I supposed to do my job as an Aggie? How am I supposed to pay attention to any of this? And it was all because the fucking Wi-Fi didn't work. They could have told me before I got on the plane. I probably would have waited and taken a later flight. I'm not even kidding. If they said there's no Wi-Fi, I would have taken my ass to the bar and watched it there. Fuck that Wi-Fi and fuck that airline.
Liam, do you have one?
Yeah. First off, we got 4 minutes left in the third quarter of Boise State, San Diego State. Total number of passing yards between the two teams sits at 28. Having the ball watching this rock fight. Second off, I have a completely different takeaway from the A&M State Trooper South Carolina moment. Really enlightening and just encouraging to see an entire stadium, an entire nation, an entire program rally around that man and come back to win the game for him. Really cool of the Aggies to do that. That's what being in the Colt is all about, truly embodying what it means to be a Texas A&M fighting Aggie. My list.
Love that, Blutman. That was wonderful.
Thank you. Mine is for me and Big Cat. This is, we talk all about the ACC and what an abomination it is to look at those standings. Dare I say, take a look at the Pac-12, which is about to have the 2-9 team in first place and the 5-5 team in second place because Oregon State beat Washington State. It doesn't make any sense. This goes back a few weeks ago. Big Cat and I, it was our favorite play of the day, absolutely loved, adored Washington State at a small number to go cover. Just honestly, just go beat Oregon State. They couldn't do it in Corvallis. They lost 10-7. What has transpired in the 2 games since then is Oregon State triple and a half. They're quadrupled the total yards of Sam Houston State last week and found a way to lose as like 3 touchdown favorites. How? What Oregon State do today? What Oregon State do today?
Tulsa.
They went to Tulsa and they lost 31-14. Tulsa's got 3 wins this year. 2 of them are Oklahoma State and Oregon State. Heck, they'd probably be Ohio State. They're the OSU killer, man. They're a serial killer. How on earth has Oregon State been able to how were they able to beat Washington State? And then me and Big Cat, we just like look at each other and we're just like, we're never going to forget this game, this loss, this pain. But November 29th, it's time for payback when Washington State gets to play Oregon State for a second time in the regular season. I'm telling you right now, this might be a play of the millennium, of the decade of my life on Washington State, whatever the number is against Oregon State. There is no way. There's no way Oregon State beats them again. And what's going to happen, man, when the Pac-12 standings for this season end with the 2 teams splitting their regular season series? Should they play a third game, a final game, a rubber match, the 2 best words in sports, game 3 between the Pac-12 teams? Co-champs, they're co-champs. What happens? Genuinely, what happens? They split a trophy?
Sure,
all right.
Brandon? I know you already did your shit list.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else to say?
No, not really. I think we're
Boise State
good.
run the ball 22 straight times.
What?
Ahmad Hardy ran for 300 yards tonight against Mississippi State. We got killed by a Missouri team starting a kid who went to his prom a couple of weeks ago.
Blake Shapen.
I am officially opting out of Mississippi State football right now. It's just it went from very competitive losses to now depressing losses, and I just can't do it anymore, man. So yeah, wrap me up and bury me in the ground, maroon and white. I'm just tired of fucking looking at it. We're gonna beat Ole Miss in 2 weeks. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you.
Wait, Brandon. Battle of the Ravine. Henderson State beat Washita.
Is it an important update?
Was that worth it?
That was what, 96th time they played?
They're
like,
I believe I thought it was 95th.
95th, whatever it be. They're like they're so close to each other in proximity. It is fascinating to look at.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating. In that state that they share together.
Right
all right, that's it. That's Unnecessary Roughness. Thanks. End it, Lukey.
Oh, he's a cheese wiener. I did say that at one point.
Wait,
I don't know when.
What?
Last year.
Lukey, in the fucking show. This is a stand-up hour.
100%.
This isn't stand up.
What's a cheese wiener?
Lukey.